what is going on here? So Warner Brothers is a massive motion picture company, right? They are behind, obviously, Warner Brothers Pictures. They are behind DC Studios. They are behind CNN and Warner Brothers Animation and Looney Tunes and all of these different HBO and all of these different companies and brands. They bring a lot to the table, right? Now, there are companies that are looking to buy Warner Brothers, even countries as well. If you look at Saudi Arabia, I don't know the credibility to this report, but I heard that it's going to be, Warner Brothers is looking to sell to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia putting $57 billion on the table and looking for a 98% share in the company, which is pretty much the entirety of the company. I don't know the truth to that, but I don't think that will go through, to be honest with you, because if we look at, although these bids, which we will get into on the three companies, are at this moment in time undisclosed, it's looking like they're in the realm of $70 billion. Obviously, Warner Brothers got merged with Discovery in April of 2022, and that was a $43 billion merger. So $43 billion, $57 billion, it's not too far out. Obviously, they'd go for the $70 billion anyway. So I don't think Saudi will be successful in that. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't want them to be, because I wouldn't really want Saudi Arabia to have their hands on something like Warner Brothers, because, come on, man. I mean, a lot of the things they are distributing, and even under the hands and the folds of Saudi Arabia, still, a lot of the things they'll be distributing are not halal. So, I mean, I don't think that suits Saudi, to be honest with you. But even so, there's been other Arab countries. I think the Arab Sovereign Wealth Fund, so multiple Gulf countries looking to acquire Warner Brothers, whether collectively or individually. But to be honest with you, I don't think those bids stand a chance. What bids do stand a chance? 3 companies have come to the table. So we're going to look at all 3 of these companies. We might as well start with the one that probably stands the best chance, which is Paramount Skydance. Now, Paramount Skydance is a relatively new company, right? So Paramount Skydance, they merged both those companies, Paramount and Skydance, forming Paramount Skydance in August of 2025. Now, this merger it happened quite, it happened behind closed doors, frankly. And the reason why that is because Skydance is spearheaded and owned by David Ellison. David Ellison, the son of Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison, very buddy with Trump, very good friends with Trump. And obviously, he's allowed that to happen. And Trump has already said that out of all these bids, he wants Paramount to be the one that is successful, right? But anyhow, they merged in August, Paramount and Skydance. That was an $8 billion merger. And now they're looking to not even merge, they're looking to fully buy out Warner Brothers, right? And fold it all into one. Now this is this is a lot of companies all in one. I don't want to sound like a liberal, but where's the competition at this point, right? We already had very little competition as it was. There's 5 major companies in Hollywood. They call them the Big 5. And obviously Warner Brothers was within that. Now they're going to be within Paramount. That's going to make just 4 companies. And it looks like companies are just buying out companies, right? We had Warner Brothers and Discovery, Paramount and Skydance, all individual companies, and now potentially becoming one massive company. So is this cartelization? Is this capitalism? Who knows? But anyhow, they are looking to buy out the entirety of the company, right? So David Ellison wants the entirety of Warner Brothers. That would include the studio. That would include the streaming division, so HBO Max, their streaming service. That would also include the cable subsidiary. So that would be CNN. So CNN is included within that. So CNN is a massive, obviously, news company. Paramount already owns CBS News, and Trump has said that a large reason to why he wants, I don't think he said this word for word, but there was a report that came out that if David Ellison's bid was to be successful, then he would remove some of the anchors on the CNN that Trump doesn't like. So you can see why Trump would want Paramount over the other 2. But Paramount wants to buy the entirety of the company, right? This is different. This differs to the other 2 companies who have put bids through. We've got Comcast, right? So Comcast, NBC Universal, of Universal Pictures, they are also looking to bid for Warner Brothers, right? So their bid is not for the entirety of the company. It's just for the studio and the streaming division, and it would not buy the cable. So therefore, another company would have to buy the cable. And obviously, this would mean a lower bid. But to be honest with you, I don't really see this standing much chance. To be fair, business-wise, this would probably make the most sense, because what it would look like is that Universal would allow Warner Brothers to be an independent company within the fold of Comcast, of NBC Universal. Whereas with Paramount, I think they're really going to fold it all into one. So this would make the most sense. I tell you what would make the most sense is Netflix. Netflix has also come to the table, and they're looking to also acquire everything other than the cable, right? A bit like Universal, right? So this would be the worst for Hollywood, to be honest with you. I don't really care, but it would be the worst for Hollywood, because if we look at the theatrical business, the theatrical exhibition, Netflix would probably put all of the movies that Warner Brothers distribute straight on their, social streaming service platform. So it would be the worst, right? These are the three that have come to the table. Netflix, you're essentially losing out on the theatrical experience. You're losing out on a lot of money through that experience. But Netflix have got the money, right? Netflix have got a lot of money. And usually there's a lot of antitrust laws, right? There's usually a lot of antitrust laws, and you've even saw Elizabeth Warren, who is a senator in Massachusetts, who has said that this would do for the entertainment industry what Fox did for news, right? The Paramount Skydance deal would, because the Paramount Skydance is looking to be a very conservative company. Throwing Warner Brothers into that as well, you've essentially got a company as big as Disney, if not bigger, right? And they are obviously buddy-buddy with the Trump administration. They're going to be buddy-buddy with whoever is elected next. That could be a Republican, that could be a Democrat. We'll get into that shortly. But if it is a Republican, it's going to become even more conservative, right? Or it's going to become conservative for a longer period of time. What will happen? I think Paramount Skydance will happen. What would be the best scenario? I think NBC Universal. I think Comcast would be the best scenario. But even so, it's going to be difficult for this bid to go through, because, like Elizabeth Warren said, there are antitrust laws to prevent these things from happening. But all in all, it's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. We've got a deal maker in charge in the United States. It's not like Biden, right? This guy wants deals to happen, right? This guy wants business to happen. So we will see what happens there. But what I will end on is the question of what we're seeing here, right? And I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago on the show. TikTok obviously being a Chinese company, the parent company being ByteDance, and now is an American company, right? And is owned primarily by either, Jewish individuals or Christian Zionists, right? And TikTok was Chinese, and now I think it's 6 of the 7 seats are American, right? 6 of the 7 seats are American, and China having less than 20% share in their own company. And obviously Larry Ellison is on that board. He now has a massive share in TikTok. His son now will have potentially the biggest studio in Hollywood, both of them being pro-Israel, both of them being Jewish, right? TikTok having Rupert Murdoch on there, another Christian Zionist, right? We've got Michael Dell of Dell Technologies being on the board of TikTok, another Jewish individual. And why is this? We already spoke about why TikTok was acquired, and we know why it is, right? We look at the report by the Tehran Times and the ADL CEO Jonathan Greenblatt saying that the US has a TikTok problem, and the American youth are being propagandized by TikTok to not be a fan of Israel and all of these things. So is this the same thing that's happening with the entertainment industry? We're seeing these companies being bought out by either Jews who are pro-Israel, right? Or Christian Zionists, right? Christian Zionists. We'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens, but I would, if you were a betting man, which I'm not, and I do not advise you to be a betting man, obviously the pick is definitely Paramount Skydance.